students, my name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. The topic for today's video lecture is usage of punctuation marks. So, we shall be talking in this lecture on the usage of punctuation marks. Punctuation marks, they are playing a crucial role in any language. Right now we are talking about English language, so they are playing a crucial role in English language. In order to form a sentence, for the formation of sentences, in order to convey a message more clearly, in order to show that graphic representation of the scene or of the event which a writer is writing. So this is what the punctuation marks can offer you. They make all the incidents, all the events very graphic for the readers when they are being used properly. Now let's see what punctuation is and what are the different punctuation marks and what is their usage. How can we use them? Let's go first with the meaning and definition of punctuation. So punctuation is an important, or rather a little more important than the words you use. See, this thing is a little bit difficult to digest because the claim is very strange, which I have made regarding punctuation. So it is saying that punctuation is as important, or rather a little more important. It's a little more important than the words we use in our communication. Why? Because our words can have an effect on the reader. Our words can convey the better message only when they contain proper punctuation marks. If we write without the proper usage of punctuation marks, we cannot be able to convey the appropriate message. We cannot be able to contact or to talk to our readers in a better way because our words are not supported by the punctuation marks. So punctuation marks, they have a vital role. It's not only we need words and we need sentence structure in order to write anything or in order to convey anything through writing. That only thing is not essential. If we have everything but we do not have punctuation, we do not know how to use and where to use punctuation marks, our writing, our communication would be a faulty writing. So it's always better to support our writing with the help of punctuation marks. The way you structure your sentences and the content you are trying to convey. So the way you structure your sentences, it depends upon the punctuation marks. How are we structuring our sentences? Where we want to stop, where we want the reader to stop and think upon the sentence, where we want the reader to pay attention to the upcoming details, and where we want to show the reader that these details are extra details, it's an extra information. So this thing can be done with the help of punctuation. And the content which we are trying to convey, that can be, as I told you, that can be better understood by the readers when it contains proper usage of punctuation marks. Then, the term punctuation, it refers to the system that allows a writer to let the audience know where the sentences end. This punctuation, it refers to the system, or punctuation is that system which tells a reader where to end a sentence, or it makes a reader aware that here is the end of a sentence. Then, where there is a short pause or a long pause, and also to show if the writer is questioning, explaining, providing some extra information. Or a reader can understand these things with the help of punctuation marks only. So it is because of punctuation marks, a reader comes to know where I have to make a short pause, where I have to make a long pause, and where the author is questioning to him. He comes to know where the author is explaining something, or he better knows where the author is providing some extra information because of punctuation marks. You may have seen there are written, some details are written, and there is something which is written in the brackets. So the thing which is written in the brackets is the extra information of the preceding sentence or about the preceding idea, preceding information. So we give extra information also with the help of punctuation marks. These brackets, they come in the punctuation list of punctuation marks. The punctuation is required to make our writing more effective and to make our writing understood by the readers. Since the writer is not directly speaking to the audience, punctuation is the only way to make the reader see it the way the author puts it. See, there is no direct communication between a writer and a reader. When we are having a direct communication between a speaker and a listener or listeners, so a speaker supports his ideas, supports his points with the help of body language, with the help of facial expressions, body gestures, with the help of paralinguistics, with the help of tone, pitch, intonation, stress. It is because of these things we make our points, we lay emphasis on certain points. It is because of these gestures or this extra help we speak to our listeners that this is the extra information. We make them to stop here, or we make them to make small pauses, small stops. But that's not the case with the writing. So these punctuation marks, they play the role of like non-verbal, like these body gestures. So punctuation, it enables a reader to read or to get what the author or what the writer wants him or her to get or extract. Let's go with some sources upon the definition of punctuation. I would like to quote Oxford Learner's Dictionary, the famous dictionary. It defines punctuation marks, the marks used in writing that divide sentences and phrases, the system of using these marks. So this Oxford Learner's Dictionary says these are the marks which are used in writing. They divide sentences and phrases. They divide them. They show here you have to stop. They show here this is extra information. They show here you have to make a long stop. They show here you have to pay them more attention on the upcoming details. And the system of using these marks is punctuation. The system to use these marks, which enable a reader to see the text very thoroughly, very carefully, is called punctuation. The system is called punctuation. Let's move to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It defines the punctuation, the act or practice of inserting standardized marks. So these are standard marks which can be inserted, or these are standard signs which can be inserted in written matter to clarify the meaning and separate structural units. So Merriam-Webster dictionary says these are standard marks, these are standard signs which are used in written matter to clarify the meaning, to give clear meaning. That is what I told you. With the knowledge of punctuation marks, we can clearly understand the written text. So we use them to clarify the meaning and we use them to separate structural units. Different structural units, we can divide them with the help of punctuation marks. So this is what Merriam-Webster dictionary says about punctuation marks. Now let's move to the Cambridge dictionary, one of the famous dictionaries, Cambridge dictionary. What Cambridge is speaking about punctuation marks. So the use of, see, this is in the brackets, means extra information. We can simply start with special symbols that you add to writing to separate phrases and sentences to show that something is a question, etc. So we can start this definition from here only. So this is extra information. It is the use of special symbols, or we can say these are special symbols that we add to the writing to separate sentences, to separate phrases and sentences. So this is what Cambridge Dictionary says. He says in order to ask something, like we use question mark. In order to show some surprising event, surprising issue, we show exclamatory mark, exclamation mark. So this is what Cambridge says, Cambridge Dictionary says. Then let's look upon Collins Dictionary. It says punctuation is the use of symbols such as full stop or periods, comma, question mark to divide written words into sentences and clauses. Collins Dictionary, it provides a more precise and more clear definition of punctuation. It says it is the use of symbols such as full stop or period or comma, question mark by which we divide the written material into sentences, phrases or clauses. Obviously, whenever we find a full stop in any paragraph, we come to know this is the end of a sentence. So it is because of these marks we divide this written material into sentences or into clauses or into phrases. This is what these sources speak about punctuation. So we come to know that punctuation is a set of signs, it is a set of symbols which we use for writing in order to make our writing effective, in order to just bestow meaning to our writing, or in order to make our writing effective for the readers, or in order to make our writing simpler for the readers to read it, so that they can extract the meaning from the writing. This is what punctuation is. There are different punctuation marks in English grammar. So in English grammar, there are multiple punctuation marks that are used in order to make our writing look sensible and easy to understand. We make our writing sensible, we give a sense, we give an order, we give a structure to our writing with the help of punctuation marks, and we make our writing easy to understand for the learners, for the readers. This punctuation mark is defined, it is a sign or a mark used in writing to divide sentences and phrases. This is what I told you. We divide sentences and phrases. We divide the written material into sentences and phrases. Oxford Learners Dictionary speaks about this. Now let us take a look at the various punctuation marks in English grammar. There are different punctuation marks, as I told you. Now let's take a look upon these punctuation marks. Let us see how many different punctuation marks are there. We have period or full stop. We have period. Full stop has another name, that is period. We have comma, and we have another, that is colon. So period I talk about, then it's comma, then it's colon. There is not a special order in which we put these punctuation marks. No special order is there. We can put them in any order, but it's better to include all the punctuation marks. So we have period, we have comma, we have colon, then we have semicolon, we have apostrophe, we have question mark or question marks, question mark, we have hyphen, we have dash, we have parenthesis, we have slash, exclamation mark, question mark and ellipsis we have. These are different punctuation marks. So I would like to just have a glance once again upon them. We have period, we have full stop, or period or full stop, then it's comma, then colon, then semicolon, then apostrophe, then we have question mark, then we have hyphen, then it is dash, parenthesis, slash, exclamation mark, question mark, ellipsis. These are the punctuation marks which we use to divide the written material in different sentences, in phrases, in clauses. And these are the punctuation marks which we use in our writing in order to make our writing more effective. It is because of these punctuation marks people understand our writing. People extract the real meaning of our writing. So as I told you, these punctuation marks, they play the role of body language in writing. See, when we write and when we speak, we use body language. We use different body gestures. We use different facial expressions. We use eye contact. There are different terms associated with nonverbal communication. Like there is haptics. Haptics, that is communication by touch. A lot of communication is done by touch. When somebody speaks something good, somebody is doing something good, we pat that person on his or her head, or on the shoulder, on the back. So that patting on the back or on the head is a kind of encouragement, is a kind of appreciation. Yes, you did well. So we use this non-verbal communication, different body postures, gestures, different body signals. We use them in our communication. When we are having an oral communication, when we talk with the word of mouth. But when we communicate with the help of writing, we do not have such a mechanism available with the writing by which we can make our point more clear to our readers. So we cannot lay stress. Right now I'm laying stress, I'm laying focus, or I'm laying emphasis on certain sentences or on certain words which I feel they are compulsory for you to understand. But that's not the case with writing. So for that purpose, we use punctuation marks. Punctuation marks, they play the role of body language. They play the role of these body gestures. They play the role of those facial expressions which we require in order to make our communication more powerful and more effective. So these punctuation marks, they are used to make our writing more effective, more clear, more passionate, more thoughtful, so that readers can understand our ideas well. Now let's move to the punctuation marks. We have the first one, that is period. The first punctuation mark I would like to talk about here is the period. Or we can simply say it's full stop also. We have a punctuation mark by the name full stop. So we can call this full stop as period. So we use a period to end a statement, or mild command, or indirect question, and after most abbreviations. Please understand, please have attention, be attentive here. So we are using punctuation marks, or we are using this full stop or period at the end of a statement. Means any assertive sentence. It can be positive, it can be negative. It should not be a question. It should not be an exclamatory sentence. It should not be a conjunction. It should be a statement. It's a normal statement which neither asks a question and which nor is any matter of exclamation. It's a simple statement. It's not even a wish or desire. It's a simple statement. It can be positive or negative. For example, I am going to school. Positive statement. Negative. I'm not going to school. I'm not going to college or university. Negative statement. So we use full stop at the end of statement, at the end of mild command, at the end of indirect questions, and after most abbreviations. Look at the examples. He arrived on time. He reached on time. So it's a statement, normal statement. There is no question in this statement. There is not any exclamation in this statement. It's a normal statement. He arrived on time. Or he did not arrive on time. Negative statement. So for such statements, we end these statements with full stop or with a period. And when there is a command, a mild command, a normal command, a simple command, like sit up straight, sit up straight. This is a normal command. So we end these commands with full stop. Like look sharp. Another command is look sharp. Or look straight. Or look forward. It's a command. We end commands with the help of full stop or with the help of period. Then, for indirect question, my father asked me what time it was. It's an indirect question. The direct question is what's time? If it is what is time, that's a direct question. It requires question mark at the end. But when it is indirect question, we end it with a full stop, not with a question mark. It ends with a full stop. It ends with a period. So my father asked me what time it was. It's indirect question. Then we end some abbreviations with full stop. Like we have Mr. Like we have Mrs. Like we have Miss. Like we use it for AM, PM. We use it for even etc. is also an abbreviation. We have an abbreviation PhD. So for certain abbreviations, and we use full stop after initials. Somebody is doctor, somebody has done PhD, we use it after initial. People are using initials, prefixes to their names. So after those initials, after those prefixes, we put this full stop, we put this period. So these are the rules, these are important rules. There are many other rules for period, there are many other rules for full stop, but I would like to introduce here the main rules. So rule number 1 is after a statement, after a mild command, after an indirect question, after abbreviations, we use full stop or we use period. Then we have another one, question mark. Where can we use question mark? Use a question mark after a direct question. We use question marks after a direct question. Like, who is going on the trip? Who is going on the trip? It is direct question. So for the direct question, we end direct questions with question mark. Like, where are you going? What's your name? Where's your car? How old are you? Which food you like most? Which dish you like most? What's your favorite book? So all these are direct questions. For direct questions, we require question mark at the end. And for the question mark also, we use it at the end of question tags. There are question tags. We end question tags with the help of question mark. Like, he's coming home today, isn't he? See, this is a statement, normal statement. He is coming home today. Somebody is coming home today, isn't he? Means, isn't he coming? So for these question tags, we use question mark. They are not working on the same topic. They are not working on the same topic. A normal statement. Then, are they? Means, are they not? Are they working on the same topic? So this are they is a question tag. We end it with the question mark. So I told you about question mark. We use question mark at the end of the direct question, and we use question mark at the end of the question tags. So these are the two important rules. There are many other, but these two are the important ones which I want you all to understand. Then we have the next one, that is exclamatory mark or exclamation mark. Using an exclamation mark in exclamatory sentence. We use exclamation marks in exclamatory sentences. What are exclamatory sentences? These are the sentences we show some sudden burst of feeling. We show some surprise. We show some wonder. These are exclamatory sentences. We end exclamatory sentences with exclamation mark. Like how careless you can be. This is very strange to be careless. How careless, it is surprising to see someone careless. So exclamation mark is required at the end. What an amazing life. If you are impressed by somebody's life or normal life, because life is surprising, you can say any beautiful spot that's surprising, that gives you a feeling, certain burst of feeling. Oh, what an amazing life he lives or she lives. Then this is really wonderful. You saw a beautiful park, beautiful garden, and you are astonished. And you say, this is really wonderful. It requires exclamatory mark at the end. Then use an exclamation mark and at the end of interjection. We use exclamatory mark or exclamation mark at the end of interjections. Now what are interjections? Interjections are, these are mood showing words. These are words that show us the mood in a sentence. See, if I speak hooray, you will understand something good has happened. Now if I say alas, what will you understand? If I do not speak anything after alas, you will think something bad has happened. So these sentences, they show us the mood. If I say wow, you will understand there is something which is happier. So these are mood showing words. So we use interjections after, we use exclamation mark after interjections, like wow, that is great news. Wow is an interjection which shows the mood. So it is followed by exclamation mark. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, something bad has happened. Exclamation mark. Alas, that's really bad. What you are going to do about it? So alas, it shows the mood. Alas, he died. Alas, he lost his money. So we use these interjections. We use exclamatory mark after every interjection. This is about exclamation mark. Now let's move to comma. What is the use of comma? We use comma to separate items in a series. If there are a series of items, we separate them with the help of comma. For example, we bought eggs, cheese, and milk at the store. So there is a series of items like eggs, cheese, and milk. So we separated these things with the help of comma. So we do not write like we bought eggs, then we put full stop, then cheese, then full stop. No, that's wrong. So we bought eggs, we use comma to separate these things so that a reader can have a short pause. See, when we have a short pause with the help of comma, we get to know what is the thing the person has bought. Oh, eggs, cheese, then we stop again. Okay, it's not the stop like full stop. For full stop, we take a longer pause. But for comma, we take a shorter pause. It's like we bought eggs, cheese, and milk from the store, at the store. So to separate things, use a comma before a coordinating conjunction like but, or, yet, for, nor, so, joining two independent clauses. When coordinating conjunctions are joining two independent clauses, we use comma before a coordinating conjunction, before the coordinating conjunction. Like, see, we have a coordinating conjunction here. So, I did not have a good time on my vacation, so I intend to go to a different place next year. I did not have a good time on my vacation, so I intend to go to a different place next year. To join these two clauses, when we join these two independent clauses with the help of a coordinating conjunction, before the coordinating conjunction we use comma. Then use comma after every item in an address or date if there is no more than one item. So we use comma after every item in address or date. When we are writing the address or when we are writing the date, we use after every item we use comma. For example, my address is 511 Sand Lane, then comma, St. Joseph, comma, Missouri. At the end there is full stop. See now with the date. I am going to a conference on Monday, then comma, May 11, comma, 1997. At the end there is full stop. So we divide all the items of the address and date with the help of comma. This is the another use of comma. Then we use comma to set off most introductory elements. Some introductory elements which we use in sentences, we separate them with the help of comma. Like, fortunately, he said he would go. Yeah, he said he will help us. Now, fortunately, we separate this introductory element with the help of comma. Then, Susan, are you going to the store? We are not writing, Susan, are you going to the store? If we write like this, the reader may not get the exact idea, may not get the idea of the question, because we are questioning this girl right now, Susan. So we separate this with the help of comma. Susan, then stop. Are you going to the store? Now you just imagine if I speak this sentence like this. Susan, are you going to the store? Then I write end the sentence. Susan, are you going to the store? Yes, the second one is more impressive. The second one is more clear. It conveys the information that I am questioning someone. Yes, I am going after dinner. See, if the reply is like this, yes, I am going after the dinner. So again, it's like there is a overspeeding in the sentence. It should be like this. Yes, I'm going after dinner. So by just making a short pause, by separating this introductory element with the comma, a reader gets the clear exact idea. What is the answer then? Use a comma to separate coordinate adjectives if they can be connected with and. We separate coordinating adjectives with the help of comma. Like, see, Robert is a warm, gentle, affectionate father. Coordinating, these are coordinate adjectives. So we separate these adjectives with the help of comma. We do not write simply, we do not write like this without the use of comma. We do not write Robert is a warm, gentle, affectionate father. No, it is Robert is a warm, gentle, affectionate father. So we divide coordinate adjectives with the help of comma. Then we use comma before the text of a quotation. These inverted commas before the text of a quotation. We put quotations in inverted commas. Like the teacher said, return to your seats. This is the quotation, this is the saying of the teacher. We put it in the commas. And we put comma after the salutation of a friendly letter. Now this is nowadays treated as an archaic. We do not use comma after the salutation in friendly letters, but earlier we used to do. So if we use it, this is not wrong, but right now nobody is using comma. This is about comma. Now let's move to the colon. What colon is? Use a colon to call attention to the words that it follow. We use colon to call the attention to the words that it follow. So wherever you see colon, that means the words followed by the colon, they require your attention. See the example. The routine includes the following. There is colon. The routine includes the following. It is the routine of somebody and these are the elements which are in his or her routine. So this colon means you need to pay attention. What is the routine? 20 knee bends is for exercise. 50 leg lifts and 5 minutes of running in place. So colon is used to tell a reader, to speak to the reader that following details need your attention. Then, my roommate is guilty of 2 of the 7 deadly sins. My roommate is guilty of two of the deadly sins, seven deadly sins, gluttony and sloth. Glutton, one who eats more. So this is the use of colon. With the use of colon, we call attention to the words which it follows. Then we have semicolon. This is how we draw the semicolon. We use semicolon to separate independent clauses in a sentence and to separate items in a series when commas are used as well. To separate independent clauses and to separate items in a series when commas are used as well. Example is, injustice is relatively easy to bear. What stinges is justice? We have two independent clauses. Injustice is relatively easy to bear. What stings is injustice. We divide these two clauses, independent clauses, with the help of semicolon. Then apostrophe. What is the use of apostrophe? It indicates possession, to mark contractions and to pluralize letters or numbers. So it marks the possession, like boy's hat. What does this mean? This boy's hat, apostrophe at Y. It means this hat belongs to a boy, possession of a boy. Men's coat. It shows this coat belongs to some men. Men's coat or men's coats. Possession. Then contractions. Aren't. We are not writing these two words, are not. Rather, we use contractions. We contract them. We use short forms. Aren't. Apostrophe is used. Won't. Cannot. Did not. So this is the use of apostrophe. Then we have quotation mark. We used it earlier, but in the comma I told you about a quotation mark, but here it is a separate column is for this. Use quotation marks to enclose direct quotes and around titles of short works. We encode direct quotes and short works within quotation marks. For example, the poem Mother to Son is by Langston Hughes. So the title, we quote the titles of short works in quotation marks. Now see what R.W. Emerson said. There is a quotation by R.W. Emerson. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. So this is a quotation by R.W. Emerson, one of the greatest American writer. So quotations we put in the quotation marks. Then, so I talked about these important punctuation marks. There are many other punctuation marks which we shall be discussing in the upcoming class. But today I talked about period. I talked about exclamation mark. I talked about comma. I talked about colon. I talked about semicolon. I talked about apostrophe, and I talked about quotation mark. So I hope you all have understood it well. And I would like to remind you all at the end of this lecture, these quotation marks, these punctuation marks, we use them in our writing in order to make it impressive, in order to make it clear, in order to make it lucid, so that readers can understand us what we want to convey to them. So this is all the purpose behind punctuation marks. So I would like to stop here. Thank you. Thank you for being patient. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.